Spatchcock Funk here, coming at you from the Griffiss Institute. We're having a big soiree here on July 13th at 4:30 p.m. Come out and see all the drones, all these great scientists. And today we're gonna make something really crazy. We're gonna make ice cream in 4 states. This is Quantum a la mode, and we've got our friends Mike and Dean. Big brains in the area. So tell us, what's the deal with quantum information and quantum physics? Why is it so important?
So quantum physics has actually been around a long time, over 100 years or so now. People think it's kind of a newer topic, newer subject because of all the hype quantum computing's been getting. But
Sure.
It's been around a long time. And why it's becoming so big right now is we're actually figuring out how we're able to make quantum computers, quantum sensors, quantum clocks, quantum networks. And how that actually works is if you go back and you think about all the fundamental things, particles that we learned about like in high school chemistry and physics.
Sure.
Things like electrons, neutrons, ions, atoms, photons. Those are very small, right? But they make up everything in the world, right? Everything here is made up of those tiny particles.
Absolutely.
So now if we go down to that exquisite level, we can use something called quantum mechanics, which is a whole different laws of physics to actually be able to control those particles and actually use them so that we can make things that like we just talked about, like new computers out of it. They can do things that computers can't even imagine what they could do today.
Absolutely. We we wanted to think about all the cool stuff y'all are doing and doing things completely differently. So what we're going to do is we are going to make ice cream in a bunch of different states of physics, right? So we're going to make bread out of ice cream, which will be our base,
right.
Regular frozen ice cream. We're going to top it with whipped cream we made out of ice cream, and then freeze-dried ice cream.
Nice.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the bread. So what you do is you're going to take 1 pint of melted ice cream, and then we're going to mix that with 1.5 cups of self-rising flour. So you know, as scientists, that ingredients matter. So if you're using regular flour, this is never going to work. Your kitchen's going to get pretty messy, and your oven not going to go out because it's going to really quite burn things up. So we're going to mix that with a tablespoon of vanilla, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, which will bring out their flavor. So we're going to mix this up, but not too vigorously, because if you shake things or get things too crazy, as you probably know in your world, things can get volatile pretty quickly. We're going to put it in a well-greased foil baking pan or an aluminum pan, and once that's in there, we're just going to gently pour it in. And then, we like chocolate sprinkles because who doesn't?
Who doesn't, right?
What's the pan lined with?
The pan is lined, good question, with a lot of butter.
And who doesn't love
Who
butter?
doesn't love butter, right?
My cholesterol may not
I
love butter.
I figured in the quantum world, right, there's got to be something that's just as fun as sprinkles and butter. So what are your favorite parts of things you guys discuss in the quantum existence?
Oh geez. So quantum's a great issue because it requires high performing teams to perform well over time.
Love it.
That's awesome. And then the military cares about this because we think it's going to give us a national competitive advantage for decades. So you look at the national instruments of power, diplomatic, information, military, economic. Quantum is one of those technologies that touches them all. That's why we're hammering away at it.
Totally. And we're going somewhere with it. There's a lot of changes coming here, and we're leading the way here. This group that you interact with at the Griffiss Institute, the people you interact with on your teams, it's really truly changing the way that the universe kind of works, or at least how we understand how the universe works.
Right. Yeah. Right. And I would add there, absolutely changing things how they work, right? And if you think back to where computers were back in like the 1960s or so, large mainframes, integrated circuits were just coming into existence. It's kind of where we are with quantum today and quantum computers. But with the worldwide investment, with continuing to have great research being done, not only here at AFRL in the US, but around the world, we're going to accelerate that, and eventually we are going to get to where we have a quantum computer that's going to do things that, as I said, we can't even imagine. Faster drug discovery, better pharmaceuticals. It'll impact the financial sector, of course, decision making for things that we do every day in the Air Force.
Yep.
All those kinds of things are going to be enhanced by.
We want to communicate without passing information through a wire or a signal. You can't hack us, you can't disrupt us.
Brilliant.
That's what we want from quantum.
Absolutely. I love that answer. One of the things that we want to do here is be able to do things as easily as possible and with less risk, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to put this batter in the oven at 350 for 40 minutes. Now, after a while, it's going to come out and it's going to look like a loaf of bread. So it's ice cream, but bread at the same time. The great thing to do with this to really extend the activation, as y'all do with all the great experiments you're doing, is this also makes for great French toast the next day too. Now, because we have the chocolate ice cream, we're also going to put a scoop of s'mores ice cream, because who doesn't love s'mores, right? So we'll put a couple scoops on there. Now we've got 2 of the ice cream states, and we also made ice cream into whipped cream with some vanilla fluff. So we like this, because now we've got a 3rd semi-liquid state. And the last one we are going to take, growing up, I loved learning about astronauts and space. So astronaut ice cream, the best, freeze-dried ice cream. So what we have is an ice cream sandwich that's been freeze-dried.
I was hoping you had one of them.
And we're gonna put that on top. And we're gonna take a bite.
Look at that.
We're gonna take a bite. All right, gentlemen. Let's try some quantum a la
I don't
mode.
eat carbs. I'm kidding.
Well, you know what? I guess because of the quantum technology, this is really low fat, low carbs, low calories, so you're fine.
It's be like a superposition of states here, right?
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
All right.
I love it. From the Griffiss Institute, Spatchcock Funk, some great human beings, much smarter than we are. You're smart to keep watching this, and come and visit us on July 13th. See you later.